how do you go from having those strong feelings, Meredith gloating in the bathtub with a glass of champagne, just waiting for Jen's demise, and then all of a sudden they're best friends?
Is it frustrating to see Meredith and Jen, at least at the beginning of the season? I don't know what happens later on, but at least when filming starts, that Jen and Meredith are really good friends. Did you ever think that would happen after last season?
The irony of that, it's kind of gross, because it's like I spent all last year, a year and a half, saying, please make up, please be friends, being the go-between, trying to help it out. And then I'm like, oh, you can forgive all of this, like your family being terrorized, your Brooks being terrorized online. You can forgive everything and then act like it didn't happen. They tried to rewrite history. And by the way, I always wanted them to be friends. So good for, I'm happy that I was able to help facilitate that, but they literally took that hot mic moment and clung to it. And it was like rewriting history. I'm like, this is not normal. This is not okay. You guys literally are living in la la land. It's complete faux, fake, fraud, all those things. Like, it is literally ridiculous. Like, how do you go from having those strong feelings, Meredith gloating in the bathtub with a glass of champagne, just waiting for Jen's demise, and then all of a sudden they're best friends? And the irony of Meredith going to Jen to talk about me is like, wow.
So which friendship kind of surprised you then the most this season? Obviously dynamic shift then. So who were you kind of leaning on this season?
I wasn't really leaning on anyone. It just is what happened organically. I think that from the beginning, people have an idea, like season 1, we can go back there. They have an idea of who I am, how I think, how I feel. I'm constantly being narrated. So it's like, this is what Lisa thinks. This is what Lisa's doing. And none of it was true. And I think the surprising friendship was, I don't even want to say it's surprising. Whitney and I never really had any real big problems. It was like silly stuff, dumb stuff. Oh, you don't like my dress or whatever. But there was nothing like tragic happened. Mm-hmm. Nothing that was tragic happening between us. So when we went to Arizona, she and I flew, I don't want to get too much into the story, but she and I flew there before everybody else. And we had a really great conversation. And I think that was a turning point. Like I said, it happened very organically, where Whitney and I started to see like, hey, maybe we have more to talk about than we thought we did. Maybe I always kind of like backed away from Whitney because I'm like, that's Heather's cousin, mm-hmm. That's Heather's close friend. And I just understand dynamics, and you don't want to step on anybody's toes. And so I kind of always just kind of held myself back and just was like, hey, if we're meant to be friends, it'll happen. And I think that was the starting point for Whitney and I hearing each other. And we started to see each other very differently too. Like, I really started to see Whitney in a different light, and for who Whitney is, not just like Heather's cousin, mm-hmm. but it was like Whitney as her own person. I actually think Heather and I always have the greatest conversations, and then she disappoints me when she comes at me or decides to blindside me, because I'm like, that's not where we were. That's not the place we were in. Like, why are you doing this to me? It's literally a 180 from what I expect mm-hmm. from her. And, I feel like Heather and I are fine. It's just not where it could be or should be. Mm-hmm. And, we have good moments though. We have really good moments.
Did you give Heather that black eye then?
No, that was not from me.
Look at the mystery of this season.
I don't get physical.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.